takes to allow mob killings. The guy under the protection, the daughter of a Makula, resorts here and admits that all evening was Sarvanish, so it could not kill her brother. The furious father lifts a gun. Firefight begins, and Lenz perishes from a stray bullet. And so too comes on the scene, and Amandi hardly Nolan is possible to calm down. Men volunteers to find the murderer Luke for good the price. Because possesses sufficient experience, the mayor agrees, but on condition that Ayres will remain in hostages to those times Stamos supports a wedding Alaka and Christie after possible the death of the father and the brother. It will become the successor of Mines. And having so understood the wife's hints, he smiles, very much enough successfully married, and Tommy shows interest Ayres. But girl quite sharply answers his questions, and only having made sure in friendliness of the guy, admits that Nolan saved it, having killed her parents. Nolan investigates traces on the place of murder, also states the assumption that the hatch did not expect meanness from the interlocutor when he was stabbed. Knife the guy took control of it, and 2 wounded the attacker. That proves drops inhuman blood on a grass, but it very little it means was it is endogenous. The mayor immediately remembers the assistant Ben who did not limp today, she calls Ben. And Nolan's ear catches what the man does, a foreign rumble of the conclusion that endogenous at power barrier. I cover the city from the enemy, having understood what people learned about its intentions. Ben advises to run, because to the city soon there will come the end. Nolan drives to a post, but Ben leaves towards and shoots at them the car, and immediately itself falls from a shot. McKinley still live. Nolan finds at the wounded weapon Vatanov, and that admits that there will be an attack in the evening on the city. The explosion on a barrier sounds here, and Nolan understands there is only which enemy will never be able to win people of Volga having returned. Nolan and Ayres buy the roller and are going to leave from cities while his citizens prepare for attack. Amanda addresses to the population with a request to stand for the city. There is no other way out. Well, or all can run, but it will remain and will be to stand up to the end. Unexpectedly, the mayor, the richest people of the city, support, and so even promises to cancel everything. Debts that who will battle people begin to prepare for fight when Nolan and Ayres say goodbye to the mayor, having left to the country. Nolan digs out Ros Frost shows. Crowds the enemy Ayres. It is revolted then at them again. There will be nothing left. The girl sits down in the roller and leaves, and the mayor sees returning sea to the city of Nolana. It gives Rosfin a mastiff, a just. It learned that when the sphere is ready, they have to will be to take cover. It will destroy everything on the way. It is endogenous to adjust it. Time is necessary, and people occupy defensive Volga approach closer and closer. And Nolan fire orders fight is started. People try to force down the opponent from rocks, but it works well. Not always. There is already the first dead among citizens when one of shots arrives on terror to the sphere. It is endogenous. It is necessary to start everything anew, and to people all touch one of a bone, the thane rushes to run that causes yarosdithica, and Amanda is wounded, and when already it seems that fight is lost below, suddenly there are bandits, and the Rihanna on motorcycles, whom conducts to Ayres, and to a descent are accepted to shoot kills the enemy, preparing to destroy everything the girl, and here the sphere at last is activated. Nolan orders withdrawal to the shelter when she explodes and destroys all enemies. Winners exult despite a set the dead, and Nolan are met by Ayres, who Amanda embraces, the adoptive father, later learns that 41 persons died, and it is set question who sent Volga to the city, and suggests Nolana to become the god of the law, Alak. Christie suggests to marry him in marriage, and his parents approve it on intention. And here Ayres does not want to remain here, but it still intends to obey Nolan. There passes day from the end of fight, when the dance which ran away bones catch it. The relative is also returned to the city that, to subject to a clarification ceremony for what it Nolan and Ayres suspend on a frame. Bones dances come just then, when begin to put stones in a basket tied to the coward's hands. The new guard about tries to stop torture, but yes, and so comes forward and does not allow to remove. Unfortunate, it is them, and nobody can interpose in their matter. Nolan takes aim at the priest when Amanda, which is reminded comes arrangements between a bone dances and city authorities. It takes away Nolan, and the ceremony continues. The mayor tells what once the authorities tried to press on Irian, violently imparting them children. Newcomers lifted a revolt in which some part them died and the others just left away. Then appeared the laws forbidding to interpose in the matter. Communities at this time. Unknown man gets into the room where the wounded lies. Ben also gives to him an injection which brings endogenous about his family, also advises to hurry with performance of a task later, what Ben runs away. Meanwhile, the father Christie expresses the discontent her the relations the girl leaves in Alak from houses. Kevin intercedes for the sister and asks questions why the hatch met with Ben, who is involved in the organization attacks on the city at this moment of a Makula report, that on the mine there was an explosion and it goes Nolan there, and the mayor hurries too on the mine, where the owner of the copy tells that the security guard was attacked by Ben Stoll. Explosive also went under the earth to Old St. Louis, when terraformer of newcomers went crazy. The most part of the cities was it is destroyed, but there was unclear. The earth distended around the city, and here and there also covered it. Then hardened, it becomes clear that the fugitive prepares terrorist attack of a Makula. Volunteers to show he perfectly knows a short way this raw, the group goes down under the earth in that time. As Stammet discuss a situation with the coward, the wife says that here, the new world and customs can change. Differently, them will cease to support it. Reminds that on their planet the man lived in most to the lowest caste, also knows what it the comer Alak tells that Makul intimidated the daughter because of what the wedding can to break. But mother promises to take care about everything. Meanwhile, Group Underground reaches the place where houses remain the old city so far. Amanda complains you prick on awful act with the coward which proceeds under its windows. The former Musha reminds that these people lost the planet. Therefore, observance rituals gives visibility of preservation. Them the world. The woman comes to light where waits for her. The person who released Aang calls it biome is also interested in Ben. Becomes it is clear that she also is that person who sent it to destroy a barrier. She assures the interlocutor that everything is done for the sake of the general, the benefits. But it does not please her at all between that the group underground stops on rest, and Nolan admits that it often happened in this place with family in the childhood, and Makul drove the son. His family here was engaged in production of dog food, and Nolan immediately remembers old advertising and then asks the man not to kill Ben. He has to learn who costs for attack at this time. Ayres again comes to the square, and having seen that torture proceeds verspriant in its stones, but a shot from weary sobering. So it is impossible to refuse real love, even for the sake of parents. Meanwhile, Ben opens fire on the persecutor, and itself gets a bullet. Nolan neutralizes bombs so far endogenous on fast death, it tells that his son was engaged illegal affairs to earn money, and to leave the imperious father that points on Ben a gun. Nolan so far persuades the man Nay to shoot, and when Makul nevertheless Ben lowers weapon rushes on it, and itself pulls the trigger, having asked to transfer before death to Amanda, that to it is a pity to a bone at this time. Thane comes to the site where Tom and Ayres try to hide the victim, and so demands to give the coward differently to them too. Not it Pozdorovitsia, but there comes the group Nolan and the mayor who gets up too on protection. It is already punished bones of dance. And so Nolan is given and leaves transfers to Amanda, last words of Bena, but City so far admits Iris's safety, that arranged Kostya's escape of Tannen, and Nolan approves it. Citizens at this time organize a memorial service to the dead. Then Makul searches the room of the son and finds plans of vaults and gold, the Tannen which came back to family of a bone. Tay meets at the house Taka, and thanks for forgiveness, and a time later finds it on the street with cut throat in among fantastic series, calls something unusual, because shows as absolutely different races tried on with each other to save the whole world, when after the third season the series were closed by the rights for adaptation, Turkey and Brazil redeemed it Yav success. Because if original idea, someone else is infected, impossible becomes to tell that the idea is weak or demands completion. And with you there was more, and let's meet absolutely soon. After to the earth there arrived 7 times aliens. Life of people cardinally changed to ordinary people. It was necessary to go on disobedience by own governor. To save the remains of mankind me call more. And it is more fox. Yesterday someone tried to erase this city from a facelands in 2013. On orbit of the Earth began to stay hundreds of the ships of arcs aliens of immigrants whose solar, the system Nis, died. A little the millennia back in those explosions supernew in total there arrived 7 times, which received one. The general name Vatanov for people invasion was full surprise, also turned back crash, and the Earth underwent full terraformiravanie. After a while, the ship's arcs Vatanov began to fall with orbit's complete destruction 33 years later. Joshua Nolan and his foster daughter Nolan and Ayres counts the place falling of the next ship. Also go there in to hope to win expensive prize. A couple find survived row the sphere, which stands fantastic. Some also dream to leave in Antarctica, which became the earthly paradise. But at the exit they are stopped gang aliens. And Ryan, which are surprised such union also demand to show production. Iris Nolan will wound the jockstrap holding her steam confusion shoots and using runs away. Having left to bandits the roller all night. They run away but the girl quickly loses forces, was wounded. Nolan hides, survived the sphere in the forest when 2 terrible alien creatures leave them. Nolan tries to beat off but animals, it is too much. And when it seems that to couple, it is necessary to say goodbye, life are distributed shots. I banish animals, and on a glade, there is a group of people they take away the man and the alien with and bring into the city built on ruins St. Louis, and receive the name Rebellious, which is protected from rest of the world. Protective barrier once exactly here. Armies of people in Vatan laid down arms, though commanders ordered to battle, but privates refused and united to save a few survivors. Having learned about it the others, races adjoined to Rebellious having finished pale wars and in the city are honored today memory of those who made this feat. Opening the monument devoted to day truces recently received the place of the mayor Amanda Rose, a water thanks the predecessors Nicolt, and also sponsors of the date, a container with the wife Stamos and the son Alakol of mine's Rife Makul with children hatch Quentin and Christie. People applaud honorable citizens, and a holiday Nicolt gives manual to Amanda is going to leave the city at this time. Nolan recovers in hospital where Dr. It is endogenous, Ayres the law enforcement officer of Alenza. It is surprised that Nolan is chained, but him the assistant quite so understood his order. Tom receives the order to remove handcuffs, but Nolan was released itself. Men long ago at once recognized in each other. Rebellious being involved in the last fight of Alenza conducts Nolan to the mayor. Also, the Earthling admits that adopted Eno of planets when that was still absolutely a baby. The mayor hopes that couple will not be late in the city. It at once understood that with them can be, then guards will return. Problems to them is taken away. Weapon Nolan admits that they were robbed, so before leaving he wants to earn additionally. Amanda advises it to address to brothel. At this time the son, the hatch, notices Makul dancing together the Alaka, and Christie also starts scandal therefore, that is not able to allow the sister to be confused with bones. Dance guys snatches out knives, but Christie asks the average brother Kevin to take away the senior, the hatch, out of itself. But here it receives a call and says goodbye to the brother, so has added an important meeting. Meanwhile, Nolan takes away Iris from hospital and Steam goes to club, where the man at once notices the nice woman, who it appears the owner of an institution on Kenya. She also prompts to a name that it is possible to earn there, where fights are arranged without rules. Nolan accepts a call only the one man, but the owner of the ring. The date, which as it turned out is the local godfather, makes replacement and exposes against the beginner of a cyborg. In it, the passerby of a Vatana finds time at the edge. Luke's body, meanwhile, fight of a cyborg, and Nolan goes with variable success. So far, the man does not remember where this is disconnected, the model is handed to it, the large sum of money, but at the exit, couple is stopped. And his people, and to avoid troubles. It is necessary to share, then money remains only on an appointment with Kenya at this time. Makul are received by news of the death of the son from Vatan of Skyweapon, also swears to find the murderer, and to punish him. Kevin tells about Luke's fight, and in Alaka the father goes to club and accuses an Alak, but Nolan that not.